Hey, it's OG Math Mosley. Today we're going to be doing a little bit more with AP statistics and talking about quartiles, IQR, and boxplots. So let's get started. Here's our situation. We're given the following test scores. We need to find the 5-number summary, IQR, identify outliers, and draw the box plot. So here's our test scores. They are already arranged from smallest to greatest. All right. So the lowest score here was 37. Our highest was 55. That helps us out that it's already arranged and make it easier, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 numbers, right? So in this case, n will be 9. We have 9 numbers. That means that the center, right, the median, that's the first number that's the easiest, or one of the easiest numbers to find when getting our 5-number summary, which then allows us to get our IQR and box plot, outliers, all that fun stuff, right? So we'll use our little formula to find the location of the center. Obviously, it would be easy to count in this case, but we want to be able to use this in larger sets of data if needed. So to find the center, right, we take the number of data points we have, 9, plus 1, divide it by 2. Right? That's going to be 10 over 2, which means that the number 5, right, this gives us the location of the median. Is the 5th number. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, and that's the median. Then to find our, well, we already have our minimum or maximum, right? And we have our min, we have our max. So the only thing left is finding Q1 and Q3, the first quartile and the third quartile. Those are going to be the medians of the lower half of the data and the upper half of the data. Since there's an odd number of data points in our set, right, we're going to use, we do not use the middle point. We don't use the 52. We're going to use the 4 numbers on the left and the 4 numbers on the right. And that means that Q1 is between the 2 middle numbers here, in between our 2 middle numbers on the right. Right, 42 and 48, they're not the same number, obviously, so to get the median, we pick the number directly in the middle of those two, which we can find by adding 42 to 48, which gives us 90. Half of 90 is 45. 54 and 54, it's the same number, right? So the median of the right-hand side here is also going to be 54. So we have all of the numbers that we need, right? And this will be Q1, this is Q3. We now have our 5-number summary, right? We'll just write these all down on that part, right? So let's do this. Just a touch. We have the minimum, Q1, median, Q3, and maximum. We'll just write these out so that we have them in one spot, easy to see, with 37, 45, 52, 54, and 55. So then let's find our IQR as our next step. That's the next thing in our list of things to do, right? So the IQR, or the interquartile range, is equal to Q3 minus Q1. In this case, we have a Q3 of 54 minus Q1 of 45, and that will equal 9. So this is the value of the IQR, right, is 9. Right. This is the width of the box on our box plot, and it allows us to use the 1.5 times IQR to identify outliers. So let's do that next, right? We've done our IQR, boom. Now we can identify outliers. Let's do that. So let's check for a lower bound first. We'll do that by saying, so our lower bound will be Q1 minus 1.5, oops, should be 1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. All right. And in this case, that will be 45 minus 1.5 times 9, which is 45 minus half of 9 is 4.5. Right? Wait. Yeah. Yeah. Half of 9 is 4.5. 9 plus 4.5 is 13.5. Right? 45 minus 13.5 will be a number, which I'll do on my calculator because I don't want to mess it up. 31.5. It's a terrible looking 5. All right, and so what that means, what we found, is that any number lower than this is an outlier. All right. Now we'll do the same thing to find our upper end, right? The upper bound. A similar thing, right? Except in this case, I'll use Q3 and I will add 1.5 times the IQR. Okay. Which in this case, right, we will get, let me do this over here, Q3 is 54 plus 13.5. We already know what 1.5 times IQR is. And that will be 6.5. I always like to check my work. Yep, 67.5. All right. And so again, that tells us that any number higher than this is an outlier. All right. So we've identified where possible outliers are based on our data. Right? We have no numbers less than 31.5. Our minimum is 37. And we have no numbers greater than 67.5 because our max is 55. Right? This means that there are no outliers. Right? No outliers based on our 1.5 times IQR rule. Now, the last thing we want to do is make our box plot. We got min, Q1, median, Q3, max. And this is our box plot. It gives us a quick picture of what the data looks like. based on this, we can see that our data is going to be skewed to the left, right? Because our box is shifted over to the right. So there's something about the shape. Yeah, and that's what we have. We know that Q1, there's a little extra bit here. The location of Q1 is the 20th percentile. The median is the 50th percentile. And Q3 is the 75th percentile. So we get that extra little tidbit out of knowing the 5-number summary and the IQR and everything. We know that anything to the left of Q3 is 75% of our data resides there. Right? Anything to the left of the median is 50% of our data is less than that. And then Q1, 25% of our data is less than that. So it gives us another thing that we can talk about location-wise, which can be helpful. All right, and that is it. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Other than that, we'll see you next time. Bye.